What's up, everybody? It's JC back with another video. Today I'm bringing you a AP Jax Mid build. This is a very fun pick. It's not the most optimal way to play Jax. I'm just going to tell you that straight out of the gate, but it is a ton of fun. It's a replay, but I hope it shows you just kind of the ins and outs of how to play Jax, AP Jax Mid, or really in the top lane. You're fairly squishy with this build, so it's better in 1v1s and getting picks versus all in team fights. We're going against the Vladimir in the lane. And for our runes, we took Lethal Tempo, Triumph, Tenacity, Coup de Grace, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, and then for rune stats, we took Attack Speed, Adaptive, and we took Armor as well, mainly to go against the Jhin, because Jin's the only one that scares me on their team. Yeah, for the early game, and for the early game, you're really weak until you start getting some AP, because that's when your damage starts to come in. So you just want to farm best you can, especially against something like a Vladimir, who's just a constant poke champ. The reason this actually works somewhat okay is because of his ratios. Recently, they buffed his ratios, and every ability now scales with AP besides his Q. So for your W, you have a 60% ratio, your E, you have a 100% ratio, and your R, you have another 100% ratio. So really, and your passive is a 60% ratio as well. So everything scales really well with AP. So in one full combo, you can do up to 320% AP damage to someone. You can easily one-shot squishies. Your passive, I already talked about that, but here I'm just going in for a trade. That's your Counter-Strike ability. When you jump in and use your Counter-Strike ability, once it detonates, it stuns them and does a burst of magic damage now. So for this build, for AP Jax, you want to do a W max into an E max. Your Q doesn't really do damage with this build, so you use it as a gap close. If you do use your W before Qing, it applies the W magic damage to your Q. So that is one way you can get damage off your Q. And for our build path this game, I was looking to go into a Ludens, into a Nashor's for the attack speed, because your passive does stack, which is every 3 hits, your third hit does a burst of magic damage. So Ludens does help proc that more often. And then we'll go boots. So for this game, we went Merc Treads for the tenacity and magic resist, but it is situational for what your game. Cooldown boots are good if you're just trying to spam abilities. Armor boots if you're against a ton of auto attackers and physical damage champs. And Sork shoes are also good if you're just going for max damage. But you do so much damage, it's really not necessary. If you need MR, you can build Void Staff near the end. That's when they'll start building MR. Lich Bane is the third item that we're gonna go for. It's good because it gives you that Sheen proc damage as well as AP ratios, and it procs on your W as well. And then you really just want to round off the build with a Death Cap, and if they have MR, you can go Void Staff. If they don't, I believe Cosmic Drive is a great option for the movement speed, the ability haste, and the ramping AP damage. So yeah, we'll just kind of go through what's going on in my mind here going against this Vladimir. You can see we're running low on mana. There's not much we can do against him. We are getting ganked by the volley, but there's not really anything he can do. He's not level 6. He can't disable the turret. So we're still in a good spot. He can't really kill us yet. If you all do not know, we're going for a QW trade. So what I did there was I procced my W and then Q'd onto him, because like I said, your Q alone doesn't do damage, but we've already got 3 points in our W at this point in the game, and it procs on the Q, so it applies that magic damage onto your Q. So we're going for another trade there. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough mana to get anything else off there. We could have probably killed if we would have had our R available. We know he's gonna have to reset soon, but we also have to reset soon. And if you all don't know, I do stream on Twitch. I try to stream. I'm trying to stream more often now. I just got my setup fixed to where everything's running smoothly. It's _JC on Twitch. If you would go over there and give me a follow, join in, chat with me while I play. Maybe we can play together, have a good time, and just, you know, be a menace out on the rift. We're gonna head back to lane here. And while I'm doing self promo, if you're enjoying this video and all the content that I've been posting, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, comment what you want to see next, and check out my other videos. I'm always open to hear what people want to see, and I'm open to playing about any champion. Even if it's something I'm not good at, I'm open to learning the champion and putting out some good content for everybody. So here we're just farming. We know Vlad's missing. We're not really sure where he's at the time. We can see him in the replay, but obviously Fog of War's on, so we didn't know where he's at this point. Also, Jax is really fast at taking towers because of his passive ramping attack speed. So if you didn't know, it stacks up to, I believe, 8 stacks, but as you can see, as I'm attacking this turret, my attack speed is going up a lot. So we see that we're getting ganked by the Vladimir here, so we're just gonna try and dip out. He flashes, we flash as well. It was kind of not worth it because his Q wasn't gonna do enough damage to really kill us there. Volibear is gonna try and stop us from getting away, but fortunately he knocks us right over the wall and we're able to get out. So again, we'll just head back to lane here. Just trying to scale with Jax. You don't want to die a bunch early because you do not play well from behind with this champion. He has the AP build. So you can see there, 1 Q W combo did a lot of damage there. So unfortunately, Vladimir is just really strong. So our full combo and everything did kill him, but he was able to kill us with his Ignite and R as well. So it was a 1-for-1 trade, not the end of the world. That allowed us to, at this point, now have our Lost Chapter. And we also bought some Magic Resist to build into our Merc Treads. Yeah, so Luden's is good because it adds that extra damage, a burst of like 100 or so magic damage to your first ability. So it really helps with bursting the enemy down, and their team is not tanky. They do have Soraka, but Volibear's their tankiest, and he's not really that tanky. Volibear's just trying to stop us from shoving the wave in, but unfortunately it was already into the tower, so he can't really do much to us. Signal that Vladimir's missing, but we do see him when they're coming back to lane. Again, we're just farming. You can see that on your third hit, your lantern glows red. That means that your passive magic damage proc is up and ready to go. You can see that circle around. We're gonna go down here and see if we can help out this fight that's going down bot lane. Down goes the Vlad. We used our EWR combo. We E to stun the volley, but we know that we can't really do anything against him because Soraka can just stand behind him and heal him to full every time we go in. So smartly we back off there. My thought process here is, since Soraka is alone, if we go in, we should be able to kill her, but I know Volibear's at the dragon, and I assume that Jhin is coming back to lane. So I don't want to overcommit and then die for it. So I see that Vi is going in on the Volibear at the dragon. I say I'm going to rotate up here. I see Ashe coming in as well. I'm a little nervous that I'm going to get collapsed on, but we see that Ashe gets the Volibear kill, so we know we can jump in on the Soraka E. We E, stun, and then QW onto her. So now we've just got to worry about the Jhin. Letting my abilities come off cooldown, take the blast cone, E, stun, blast, he is down. And that really allows us to snowball at this point. We're able to take a base here and should be able to get our Ludens, or at least close to our Ludens. Again, you can see how quick you can take turrets with Jax. Oh, and if you didn't know, what you see there is you can Q onto friendly units, minions or teammates, as well as wards. So you can ward hop similar to Lee Sin's ward hop with Jax. So it's a good escape tool. If you're getting chased, you can ward over a wall and then Q to it. So here we're buying items. We've got our Merc Treads, we got a Blasting Wand and a book. We're going straight into Ludens now. The magic resist on the Sword Shoe should help us survive Vlad Burst, as well as the Tenacity should help us if we get ganked by Volibear from his stun. So we're looking for a WQ trade here. We do get it off. Not a ton of damage, but if you can poke, eventually your damage is just really good. And we QW poke again with an auto. He wants to get a empowered Q off on us. He doesn't get it, and he takes a turret shot. It's just good positioning by us. Do get Vladimir's flash. Unfortunately, the Ashe arrow does go after he pulls, so he's unable to get it. No big deal. We're applying a lot of pressure. Here comes a Volibear for a gank. We flash to get out. They're gonna tower dive us here. I pop my E and R, and they're not able to damage us. Our E pops, and then we hit a W with tower shot onto the volley for a double kill. You never want to tower dive a Jax, especially if you don't know if his counter strike is up or not, because that was a very, in theory, easy dive for them if it would have been any other champion. But since we have our counter strike, they didn't have a chance to win that. Again, we popped our E to stun them and Ard under tower, and then they all have tower aggro, so the tower finishes off the Volibear as we kill the Vlad. It's a very good play by us. Very, very good play. So now we've got a very substantial lead, so we're just kind of, at this point, we're in a state of roaming. We get the volley here. We know we can beat him in a 1v1. He knows it too, so he's gonna try and peel out here. We're slowed, we wanna chase him. We would kill him here, but he hits the blast cone. We see Vladimir. We also have Vi here, so we know we could probably win this. Excuse me. The Vladimir at this point has checked out. He's mental boomed, so it's just a free kill there for the Vi. But that was you could see where you could jump over the wall there with your Q. It's a very good mobility with Jax. So Hammer's coming down to stop us from getting this turret. We know that if we get stuck in a Hammer combo, he can one-shot us and stun us before we can react. If we just go in a 1v1 and he doesn't hit his stun, we can beat him. But if he stuns us and all his turrets are just bursting us down, we lose that fight. So here I'm just waiting in the bush, kind of waiting down here to see if I can get a pick off. We know the Hammer's trying to push this lane out. We see Mundo rotating up. We're baiting this Hammer to follow us. Mundo runs at him, got the Heartsteel proc ready. We just jump on him, QE, W, and down he goes with the auto W reset. Does a lot of damage at this point because we're starting to finally stack our AP pretty nicely. It's a really interesting dynamic on Jax because when you're playing normal Jax, you don't use your E as like a damaging spell. It's more as a, you know, engage or disengage and damage reducer, but it is used as that on AP Jax, but it also deals a ton of damage because of its 100% AP ratio. So we see that there's some nonsense happening in the bot lane here, so we're gonna rotate down and see if we can help out. On that base, we were able to get our Ludens, also start working into Nashers. We got our recurve bow. And this pick works because we know we have a Mundo on our team who's just so tanky, so we didn't need to build like a bruiser tanky Jax build. It's a very interesting fight. The Ash arrow hits the Hammer, so now we know we can go in here. The volley bear, not sure what he's planning on doing there. I do die, unfortunately, because I got hit by the Hammer, but it's okay. We're able to pick this back up once we respawn. You will die. You're very squishy as this Jax build, so just prepare for that. If you're not positioning perfectly and one-shotting everybody once you go in, you will die some. And that's why we took tenacity and the runes, as well as getting the Merc treads. Just as much tenacity to get out of stuns and roots as possible, because you need to keep that high mobility if you want to perform well with this pick.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team has slain the dragon.
So we're gonna run down here, see if we can do anything in this fight. It's just an awkward position fight. We try and go for the Soraka here. We are able to get her, which is a huge play with our E. We can just chase down the Jhin here. He does a lot of damage, but as long as we position well, we can beat him. The volley is kind of confused on what he wants to do, which is good for us, because if he would have committed and the Jhin helped, it probably would have been a death for us. Hammer's trying to get behind us. He's down. We're able to go back in on the volley bear here. He should have not gone in on that. That was a very bad play by him. We flash in. Jhin should not have placed that trap. It's the reason he dies here. We had our jump on him into a E stun into a W auto reset to take him down. Soraka is playing way too aggressive in this position. We're able to hit her with the stun, auto her, throw an ignite down, and we just stay on top of her with our Qs and our W auto resets, and down she goes. And we take a reset here. Big buy coming up. Should be able to get Nashers, I believe. Sitting at 11 and 2 at 21 minutes. We do have Nashers, so we're sitting on Ludens and Ashers and Merc Treads at 21 minutes in the game. Just head back to lane here to see if we can get anything done. We're paying attention to what's going on in the map. We see what's going on top lane. So we're gonna rotate up that way, but there's not much we can do when they're just chasing a Vladimir. We didn't see the Heimerdinger here, but we're still able to turn this with our R-E-W auto combo. Very, very, very strong. Especially against things like a Heimerdinger who don't build a lot of health and resistances. In his mind, he's thinking, you know, he's got the upper hand there. He didn't see us coming. He had his turrets put down and he thought he had the damage. But with our E, we take reduced damage. He's not able to auto us any, and we stun him at the end, and it's just GG's for him. It was a lot closer than I would think it would be, but it's just kind of just caught me off guard, to be honest with you.
Killing spree.
This poor Soraka just doesn't have a shot. I don't know why she's pushing up by herself. And Soraka, you never want to be. So we're just playing ring around the rosy. You never want to be alone as Soraka. We have our W, Q proc. And then we just auto her to take her down. So at this point, we're pretty confident that we're going to win this game. We just need to make sure we don't throw our shutdown gold, because right now we're sitting at 600 shutdown gold at 13 and 2. We see the Vlad just chilling by himself. We go for our auto. Unfortunately, he gets out of our E. We go for W, auto, and then we use our R to clean up the kill. Jhin is trying to hit us here. We go and try and hide behind the Ashe. And luckily, the Jhin is not able to hit any of his R's on us. We take a recall here. We know we're going to head to the Heimerdinger because he's trying to split push. We get our Lich Bane here. This is probably our strongest point of the game once you have a Lich Bane. You just do so much damage now. So we know there's no way the Heimer can fight us. His best chance is to run, but we have so much mobility that there's not much he can do running wise either. He tries to turn and fight this. He just doesn't have a shot. That was all from a W Q proc into an E stun into another W. That's all that we did there, and we're able to do pretty much 100% of his health and 3 abilities. Here we get the fruit just so we can get our health back. The one problem with this build is you don't have any life steal, any omnivamp, anything, but you set what you lack in survivability, you gain in damage, because holy damage, this is a very, very, very high damage pick, if you can't tell already. And at the end of the video, I will show the damage chart just so you can see how much more damage we did than other people. So here we're just kind of in an awkward position. They're just sitting under turret. If we tower dive, they get our shutdown gold. So I'm just trying to look at other ways to get money, get gold, kind of push our advantage a little bit more. So I just farm his chickens. And again, there's not much we can do in this position. Because if we do, we just die. So I tell the team I'm gonna rotate top and try and split and take this turret down. And then they finally start rotating. As soon as I leave, they push out and try and fight the team. But we're still gonna go ahead and get this turret. I think it's more beneficial to get them pushed towards another inhib than just killing them again. They notice that I'm starting to push into their inhib here, so they're gonna rotate up and try and stop me, which allows for more pressure to be put back to mid lane. And that's the whole key of putting pressure on your side lanes. If you just ARAM mid and they're just sitting under turret, nothing is getting done. You're just wasting time. So always send someone to split push if they're just 5-manning under turret or even 4-manning under turret. You always want to be adding pressure in the side lanes. See, we take a lot of damage there. We see the Heimerdinger here. We know we can just jump over the wall and kill him. There's a high chance we die here just because of how low we are. But we are able to jump onto the Jhin. We are him after the E stun. There's a good chance we die here. We try and turn on the Soraka. And unfortunately, she gets away with her flash. It was almost a good play. We just couldn't get her E stun off before she flashed. Ashe is able to finish off the Soraka, so it is perfectly fine. We have Vi pushing the top inhib down. We do get inhib. They have 3 people dead at the moment. This is where the game is pretty much over. It is pretty much over. We're respawning in 20 seconds. As you can see up here, Vi is just pushing in the turrets. She should be able to get out here. Heimerdinger has no mobility and she has her Q up every like 5 seconds.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, she is out. She is out. Our team's still applying pressure. So we'll go back to following me. We see the Vladimir up there. We don't know the Heimer's there, but we do see the Vlad. So we're just like, you know, we'll just take a pick here, get him off the map. And then we end up running into the Heimerdinger. Poor Heimer just doesn't have a shot. He even barriers, it's just not enough. We're so far ahead that there's not much anybody can do 1v1 against us right now. Jin's only hope, he's their only hope, and it's only if he kites us extremely well. That's their only chance, is if he just kites us so extremely well. So we see a fight starting here. Mundo is all in. Mundo can't die because it's Mundo. Not sure really what the Volibear thinks he can accomplish here. Down he goes. And then at this point, they just can't really do much. We're able to hit Soraka with our W and our E stun. Jump onto her with our Q. And Vi finishes off the Jhin. They have 4 dead with an open inhib. I'm just trying to push it in and end the game here. Yeah, that's the fun of Jax. AP Jax, it's a lot of fun. It's not the most optimal play, and if you get behind, you will not have a fun time, but he does a ton of damage. I'll show the damage charts here. You can see we did most damage in the game, and yeah, really is a fun pick. I suggest you try it out. Let me know what you think. And again, if you like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more League content. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.